Well, hello, it's Richard Pearce from Finextra TV, and got a special treat today. We're joined by the Lloyds Banking Group team, the ones that won the SustainableFinance.live Hackathon for 2025 in the established class, and they're represented by Andrew Torr, we've got Yasmin Liverpool, and we've got Nataliya Tchakenko. So welcome, good to see you all again.
Good to see you, Richard.
Thank you so much. Good to see you.
Well, it's exciting to see you. I mean, it was just fabulous to see the work that you did in a couple of weeks. And, you know, for those that didn't watch, we're going to learn a bit more about the solution the guys put together. But for everyone just to know, I know not everyone knows what a hackathon is, but just think of it like Bake Off. You know, we give these guys a challenge. We say, you know, do a sort of showstopper special. We're going to give you a few constraints, you know, instead of eggs and milk and butter and whatever, we give you code and cloud and APIs. And we ask you to sort of fulfill a challenge, and it's to do with sustainability. The guys got a couple of weeks to have a crack at it with their team. So let's find out what this winning team did. Andrew, can you give us a bit of a taster of what your solution ultimately was?
Absolutely, and thank you for the time, by the way. So basically, we thought farmers and landowners already want to create nature, so they receive subsidies for nature through elms, they want to sell carbon credits, they receive money through biodiversity net gain credits. And on the other side of the coin, you've got asset owners and developers who may have assets or property developments downstream of those farms within a flood catchment, who want to protect those properties for obvious reasons. They want lower insurance premiums, they want to protect the valuations of their properties, and they want to reduce actual, you know, annual losses from flood risk and flood damage. So at the most fundamental level, what this solution does is it just convenes those parties along with some public and private capital to try and link up farmers and landowners creating, restoring the best natural assets to protect downstream man-made assets. So that comes in two parts. There's the technical solution that does that mapping and identifies the best places to create and restore nature. And then there is this sort of hypothetical financial structure that is the nature risk resilience bond, as we've called it, where basically buying the bond provides the capex, which is used to create or restore the natural asset, and then the reduced losses to the downstream man-made assets provides the yield on the bond for investors, you know, to reward the public and private capital. But Nataliya is more knowledgeable about the technical solution we've built.
Well, I wanted to get straight into the solution so that people want to know more. But Andrew, you're on the business side, is that right? You're a sustainable analyst?
Yeah, that's right.
Very good. And so handing over to Nataliya. Nataliya, you are the lead for the AI team. Is I've got that right?
Yeah, almost.
Well, for sustainability, yes.
In AI Center of Excellence, that's correct. I'm leading AI for Sustainability work stream in Chief Data and Analytics Office. So yes, Richard, thank you so much for inviting us today to discuss our solution. So I think Andrew mentioned that the problem we kind of decided to tackle is quite complex, and complex problems usually require advanced technological solutions. So AI obviously is well suited here. So just quickly describe in few words what we developed is an agentic pipeline essentially, which can handle the complexity of the hydrological processes within landscape, but also most importantly, and we know there's lots of models already exist which can handle hydrology in different levels of complexity and spatial and temporal resolution. But what makes our solutions quite unique and standalone is that we link the hydrological and physical processes of the landscape to the real financial assets. So we wanted to develop a solution which is very pragmatic, easily to execute, but at the same time, the ones which can handle complexity and most importantly, can link hydrological properties to upstream assets, to downstream assets, as Andrew mentioned, but also to do it in dynamic way. So it can actually, help us to understand the actual work and mechanics behind those mysterious nature-based solutions which are currently being implemented across different farming assets.
And just for those that might not know what agentic AI is, we're all getting used to our sort of chat GPTs and large language models, but give us a description in your language, Nataliya, and then how you initiated those agents to actually do what you've just described.
Exactly right. So we talk a lot about AI these days, so I don't think anyone is actually exempt from this space. So artificial intelligence, obviously, these are different models. What is different in agentic space and realm is that we have different AI models specialized in different types of tasks and assembled and working together to resolve that common goal. So essentially, why we call it agentic is because we assemble a very specialist models which have a particular roles in our agentic pipeline, such as data assemblages, data translation, also a resolution adjustments, translation from a raster to vector formats, but then modeling and assemblage and attribution of hydrology to ELMs. All of those roles are performed by specialist agents, which are then communicate to each other and kind of forward and push the task downstream towards execution of the final goal, which Andrew described, trying to understand whether ELM implemented upstream actually helps to reduce flooding downstream in the catchment.
So it's a bit like having sort of 5 specialist workers, one that knows the environment, one that knows the policy and the procedure, one the financial. They all go off, get the data, bring it back, and then put it together in a usable format. Would that be an easy sort of shorthand?
Exactly right. And not just any data. We worked specifically with the open data, authoritative data sources. And I think Yasmin will be able to comment more on why we decided to go this route in a responsible way.
Yeah, well, that's a great handover, Yasmin. Do tell us.
Yeah, so I think one thing to emphasize about this solution is that it's ethical by design. So I specialize in responsible AI and specifically agentic AI assurance alongside Nataliya. And we really wanted to make sure that we're practicing what we preach here. So all the data was sourced ethically in line with open government licenses. And as Nataliya described in the solution, although it uses very novel technology, which has a probabilistic component in using that agentic AI, this is combined with the deterministic nature of the environmental scoring. So that means that the solution is more predictable, it's scientifically robust, it's reproducible, and also ethical by design. And I think another thing to really emphasize is that responsible AI is about more than just risk mitigation. It's also about AI for good. And we feel that this use case is proactively using AI for a positive purpose as well. And so I think that's really important to emphasize too.
Yeah, and so for people that don't follow all of this closely, it's not just that the machine will run off and do what it wants to do. You've got the ability to obviously constrain it, but then reproduce what was done. And so the decision making you can unpick and you could look at it again, should ever that be required. I think that's what we're saying. Yeah. So you put this together. I mean, how many of you were there in the team again, approximately?
8 people.
There was 8 people, so we'll make sure we get their names for the name check on the webpage. Don't do it now, but a great team. You came together though very quickly, didn't you? In sort of a day or two to put this together. What do you think you'll do with this solution going forward?
Absolutely. So yeah, Lloyds is always trying to innovate and come up with new solutions, particularly in this space. We've had a lot of new solutions, including new sustainable finance products released this year in climate. And increasingly, we're looking forward to nature as well. That's the next big wave of considerations with things like TNFD taking hold more broadly. But we are looking into this solution alongside lots of other ideas in a similar vein, and this has inspired some of those. We've had some really good conversations internally so far, including, interestingly, people mentioned water purification as a service, which is something that we didn't consider as part of a hackathon, but it's something that could provide essentially more yield on the bond, right? More value to the creation and restoration of nature because it's purifying water, and water and sewerage companies can benefit from that downstream. But at the moment, the idea is very much, it's obviously at an early stage, And if we were to release a real sustainable finance product to customers, then it would have to have sort of sufficiently robust outputs and be sufficiently mature for us to make sure that we're sending correct information and that there is going to be a return on the creation, restoration of the nature. But I believe we do have some ongoing technical development on the solution as well. Nataliya, you've added some bits.
Yeah, absolutely. So on the technical side, I think the kind of the near-term ambition is to make the solution is a much more kind of robust, lighter as well. So there is a possibility potentially to convert it into completely into one single language kind of holistic pipeline, which could be easily executable across multiple platforms on desktop or even on cloud. And also we would like potentially even translate it into an API. It depends how the design goes. So it's also, Andrew mentioned that it's quite important to ensure that its solution remains transparent and most importantly compliant with what regulators want, because they will be scrutinizing this model, from different angles. So to ensure that this is something which is satisfies regulatory requirements, be it PRA and FCA nearest model risk management requirements.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's just, at least, even I, who sort of set the challenge, and I'm not sorry when I say even I, but, I was blown away by what you did, the clarity of what is possible with agentic AI in this area. So hopefully with your brilliant demo and the presentation and the sort of, the business plan you put together, which, as you say, very early stages, but it will ignite the passions of people within the business to see what the art of the possible is, which was, I think, the intention, wasn't it? Okay. Yasmin, I'll leave the last word with you. I think what inspires me is that, all these you bright young people doing these amazing things. It makes me feel, good that, we're leaving the world in your hands after the mess my generation seems to have created. But Yasmin, what are your thoughts on how this, how you'd like to take this all forward?
Yeah, so as a semi-young person, I definitely agree with that. I think as a business, we want to continue to champion AI for good, AI for sustainability, as well as sustainable AI. And I've just been delighted to have a role in supporting Nataliya and Andrew's brilliant work in this area. And I hope to continue to support with future work, like Nataliya mentioned, regulatory compliance, ethical alignment. It's definitely something that we want to take forward altogether.
Fantastic. Well, Andrew, Nataliya, Yasmin, and the rest of the team, many congratulations. You are the winners of the Sustainable Finance.Live Hackathon for 2025. Congratulations. And more importantly, well done for rolling your sleeves up and trying to make a positive impact. So thank you very much.
Many thanks for this opportunity.
Thank you very much. Yes.